According to several reports in French media, Paul Pogba is likely to sign for PSG when his current deal with Manchester United expires. The French international is not too eager to continue his adventure in Old Trafford, and it appears that the Red Devils are thinking the same thing. Well, finally we get to see something happen that should have happened a long time ago. Not just that, PSG are reportedly eager to sign Romelu Lukaku, who's having a torrid time in the Premier League with Chelsea. And with Mbappe set to leave, the Belgian seems like the perfect replacement. Meanwhile, Atletico Madrid are monitoring Nabil Fekir pretty closely, given the Frenchman's excellent form in recent months. Karim Benzema is in great form, but the France international's form has impacted Vinicius Jr., and we'll tell you exactly how this has happened. You know the deal. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and get ready for your daily dose of all things football. If Karim Benzema is on another planet this season, he owes it in part to Vinicius Jr., who's made great progress. Moreover, it's because of the Frenchman that the young Brazilian displays superb statistics. Author of 37 goals and 13 assists in all competitions this season, the Frenchman has already broken a few records. The captain has become essential to his team, especially since he doesn't really have a natural replacement, with Luka Jovic or Mariano Diaz not performing at a desired level. It must be said he's also being well helped by Vinicius Jr. The young Brazilian has also taken on another dimension this season with 17 goals and 17 assists, well helped by the presence of his teammate. Already during the second half of last season, the 21-year-old showed greater efficiency in his decisions, his dribbling, and of course in front of goal. A famous instance marked the Brazilian international's sheer quality. In the fall of 2020, at half-time of a Champions League meeting against Borussia Mönchengladbach, Benzema speaks with Ferland Mendy and attacks Vinicius. In essence, he says don't give him the ball because he doesn't have the level. A locker room discussion as it happens every day, except that this moment was captured by a camera. Marca indicates today that this episode has changed the situation between the two men. The next day, according to the Spanish newspaper, Benzema went to see his young teammate to apologise and explain himself. Since then, the two men have been on the same wavelength, the eldest taking the younger one under his wing. Result is, they're directly responsible for 54 of the 93 Real Madrid goals this season, and it's probably not over. Substitute at Chelsea and lacking in confidence, Romelu Lukaku has some big decisions to make ahead of the next season. The transfer window will shake up PSG this summer. While Kylian Mbappe's extension is on everyone's lips in the French capital, management is preparing for all scenarios. If the hope for the French international to continue his adventure in Paris has improved a little over the weeks, despite the elimination in the last 8 of the Champions League, there could be a turnaround. For this, PSG are looking at what could help them strengthen in front, especially since the situations of Neymar and Lionel Messi are still uncertain. The two South Americans should still stay, but they will probably not be retained in the event of a good offer. The current leaders of the French Championship would like to bring a little character to this team, and for this, contact has been made with Romelu Lukaku. This is what The Sun tells us. According to the tabloid, the Belgians' entourage contacted Leonardo to discuss the situation of the centre-forward and why not work together soon. The former Inter player is struggling with form at Chelsea, where he's quickly become a substitute when he was recruited last summer for €113 million. The author of only 5 goals, the 28-year-old striker is tired of being a second knife, even if Tuchel continues to trust him. While waiting for the possible progress of the talks, it remains to be seen what type of offer PSG can make, because recruiting a player of such a calibre will obviously be very expensive, and the Blues will want to get a profit, especially after spending so much on him last summer. Nabil Fekir will perhaps succeed in his bet. In 2019, the French international left Olympique Lyonnais for good to take up a new challenge at Real Betis. Welcomed at the airport like a rock star with his brother Yacine, the 2018 world champion said he wanted to help the Sevilla club turn a corner and qualify for a European competition. a tailor-made mission for the native of Lyon, whose daring choice was not understood by everyone. Some observers or supporters believed that he had the level to play at a club of a higher calibre, but Fekir has always defended his decision, and today he does not regret it. Present for 3 years now in Andalusia, the French player is more fulfilled than ever. He appreciates life in Sevilla and feels good in a team that depends on him. And the number 8 perfectly meets the expectations. The former OL captain is in crazy form, as he has scored 10 goals and 10 assists in 38 appearances in all comps. He's also one of the players to suffer the most fouls in Spain, ahead of Vinicius, and in Europe. The year has started well with 5 goals and an extension until 2026, a just reward for the 28-year-old player, very happy with this news. It's an ambitious project. They try to keep the best players. It shows all the ambition of the club, and I hope that there will still be other quality players who will come, he said last week. Still, nothing says that Fekir will still be there next season. According to our information, Atletico Madrid are seduced by the profile of the Frenchman. The Colchoneros, who have been following him for 2 years, still keep an eye on him. For the moment, it's only a simple interest on the part of the people of Madrid, especially since the Fekir case will not be easy, since the player has a departure clause set at 100 million euros. Another important point, he doesn't want to rush into a decision about his future. He also wants to take the time to reflect and weigh the pros and cons, since he feels good where he is. A club with which he can still qualify for the Champions League, since Betis are currently 5th in La Liga with 57 points, 1 behind Atletico and 4 behind Sevilla and Barca, who are tied for 2nd. In Leonardo's sights for weeks, Paul Pogba is more than ever PSG's priority target. The Brazilian sports director has already met with him, and the competition is not so intense. Reconstruction. This is the watchword within Paris Saint-Germain since the latest stampede in the Champions League. While waiting to know the verdict of the Mbappe case, sporting director Leonardo is working on priority positions, despite an uncertain future since several sporting directors have been contacted. We're obviously talking about the midfield, a sector that has been suffering for years. No one has managed to relieve Marco Verratti of his role as technical leader, despite several recruitment attempts in this direction. As we revealed to you last week, the top priority is Paul Pogba at the end of his contract with Man United. Leonardo is convinced of this. It is the French midfielder that is needed to improve the midfield. After discussing it with the club's staff, the sporting director was able to meet Paul Pogba directly to express his keen interest, and the reciprocity exists. Indeed, Paul Pogba is ready to come to Paris, as is his family. All lights are green, especially since the competition is not so tough. Man United understood that he would not extend his deal. The Mancunian club had made him an exceptional offer last October, which would have made the Frenchman the highest paid player in the Premier League, with a huge commission for his agent, Mino Raiola. But the change of coach, as well as in the Mancunian management, has altered Pogba's plans. Juventus, which some present as the destination desired by the 29-year-old player, are not particularly interested. In any case, recruiting Pogba is not part of the old lady's short-term plans. Result, it is advantage PSG, with their absolute desire to recruit him, who are in pole position. Nothing's impossible, but we necessarily remain very careful, since there's nothing done or confirmed yet. PSG can always think of Pogba, a player who interested them a year ago, and who has qualities to improve their midfield. Just as the French international might be tempted by joining a great team that can help him shine again at club level, without forgetting that Pogba grew up in this region and can dream of winning at the Parc des Princes. And in case that happens, it will finally end 5 years of misery for both the player and Man United, who never got to see the best of him enough.